Soccer fans, AFC Ann Arbor is live and on the air. Welcome to Pioneer High School's hallway field for this USL 2 match between the top of the table Midwest United versus your AFC Ann Arbor Mighty Oak. Tonight's match is presented by Bank of Ann Arbor. Bank of Ann Arbor has been the title sponsor of the club since the first season. It was Bank of Ann Arbor's increased investment that allowed the club to expand with the addition of the women's team in 2019. Thanks to their continued support, both our women's and men's teams receive equitable support across all facets of the organization. Thank you, Bank of Ann Arbor, for all you do for our club and all of Washtenaw County. As the founding club of the Anti-Racist Soccer Coalition, AFC Ann Arbor is leading the efforts to combat racism in our sport and community. Visit antiracistSoccerClub.com to read the club's entire 10-point plan and learn more about the coalition, which includes members such as Oakland Roots, Vermont Green FC, and Lansing Commons FC. With initiatives like the CLR Academy, a free youth sports sampling program promoting holistic and healthy living run by AFC Ann Arbor players, along with athletes from the University of Michigan, Eastern Michigan University. CLR Academy was created in partnership with Washtenaw's My Brother's Keeper to better serve the young black and brown children across Washtenaw County. As looking at it today, again, it is Midwest United in here to take on AFC Ann Arbor. By the way, if you're looking for a little bit more information about the team, the Ground Cover News put out an article in their release yesterday about the club. Ground Cover News, you can pick up that news article or magazine from any number of sellers in Ann Arbor. They basically have it so that disenfranchised homeless people can sell them to make a little bit money and have a job. So helping those who don't have a lot in the community. It's a wonderful purpose and a good publication, so take a look there and check that out. As we are about to get ready, we're counting down here about 13 and a half minutes before we head in. Now, the next game that's going to pop up here is going to be tomorrow. So the next home game's tomorrow, the 16th. It's going to be the women's squad versus the Michiana Lions. That's going to be here at 3 p.m. at Hallway Field, so make sure to come down, check that out. We'd love to see you here tomorrow as well for the women's squad. Let's talk about the next 5 matches for this men's team, as they're on the road for the next 3. June 18th is a Tuesday. They're going to be over in Macomb as they'll take on Union FC at Macomb. That'll be a 6 o'clock game. Then Sunday the 23rd, they are going to be at Kalamazoo for a 5 p.m. match. So that's going to be over on the west side of the state. Then on June 29th, a Saturday, they will be at Lansing City FC. That'll be a 7 p.m. game. They're going to be home on July 3rd. That's going to be a Wednesday. That will be versus Flint City Bucks, as they will come in. Then June 7th, that's going to be a Sunday. They will be at Michiana. That will be a 7 p.m. game. So 5 matches coming up. There's a total of 6 matches left. There's not a lot of home games coming up left. After today, there is just 4 home games left. So make sure to check that out. And let's talk about the table now, or the division standings. So taking a look all the way up at the top is Midwest United, the team we're playing today. They have played 10 matches. They have won 8 of them. They've lost 1. They've tied 1. They have 25 points. And then the big indicator there, the points per match, they have 2.5 points per match. So they're sitting up at the top of the Great Lakes Division. Flint City is number 2. They have played 6 matches, 4 wins, no losses, 2 draws. That gives them 14 points and 2.3 points per match. Kalamazoo FC sitting in the 3rd spot. They've played 8 matches, 4 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws for 14 points and 1.7 points per match. AFC Ann Arbor is checking in at the number 4 spot. They've played 7 matches so far. They've won 3. They've lost 2. They've drawn 2. They have 11 points and a 1.3 5 points per match. It would do a great deal if they could get 3 points out of today's match to move up a bit. Lansing City is in the number 5 spot. They've played 6 matches. They have 1 win, 2 losses, and 3 draws for 6 points, 1 point on average per match. Oakland County is in the number 6 spot. They've played 7 matches. They have 2 wins, 5 losses, no draws, 6 points total, and .86 points per match. The Michiana Lions are in the number 7 spot. They've played 6 matches. They haven't won one. They've lost 4 and had 2 draws. They have 2 points and .33 points per match. The number 8 spot is Union FC Macomb, who they'll be playing on the road next. That's 6 matches they've played, 6 losses, no points, and no points per match as of yet. So that's the table. So a big challenge today looking up at Midwest United. They've played 3 more matches than Ann Arbor. They've won 5 more matches, 1 less loss, 1 less draw. So Ann Arbor is going to have their job cut out for them today, as they won't have to take on this strong team. Taking a look at your goal scorers for both teams. For Ann Arbor, with 5 goals, it's Direction who leads the way. Dos Santos has a goal. Valencia has a goal, Lima has a goal, and Mujica Garcia has a goal. That's the 9 goals for AFC Ann Arbor. On the other side, for Midwest United, it is Suleimani who has 6 goals for Midwest United. Takawira has 2 goals, as well as Money with 2 goals. Burkett has 2 goals. Then with 1 goal, it's Shannon, Adamson, Stout, Baroni, Jones, Clementson. Those players all have 1 goal. So 9 goals for Ann Arbor, 18 for Midwest United. Now, as a total, AFC Ann Arbor has 19 goals, and at the beginning of the season, AFC Ann Arbor said they were going to donate 3 trees for every goal that AFC Ann Arbor, both the men's and women's squad, score. And then DTE a few weeks ago said they would match it, so that's 6 goals per tree, and that means that 114 trees will be donated thus far to the Ann Arbor Park. So 6 trees per goal, and that is a small forest being donated to the Ann Arbor Parks for the bicentennial, which is fantastic. Let's talk a little bit about the wins and losses that these teams have seen. Starting off with Ann Arbor, they started with a 4-1 win over Union FC Macomb. Then they dropped a game versus this Midwest United team at Midwest United. That was back on May 18th. It was a 3-0 win by Midwest United. They then had a 2-2 draw hosting Kalamazoo here at Hallway Field. That back on May 22nd. They had a 1-0 win over Oakland here back on the 25th of May. They had a 0-0 draw here at Hallway Field back on the 1st of June. Then they went over and visited Flint City. Flint City won 3-1 over AFC Ann Arbor. They then had a 1-0 win at Oakland County and heading into this game. So they have a 1-game winning streak. They'd like to tie a couple more wins together, but they have a difficult opponent ahead of them. In that game versus Oakland County, if we take a look at the match details, and pull that up here. The action for Ann Arbor started off as Lima did get a yellow card. Direction scored that at the 62nd minute. Pearson went in for Valencia at the 46th minute. In the 66th minute, Niker went in for Bruin George. Asamoah went in for Mujica Garcia, that at the 66th minute. Lacey went in for Martinez at the 79th minute. And in the 88th minute, it was Bahagina going in for Direction. So that lone goal by Direction in the 62nd minute for Oakland County. Taking a look at their action throughout the game. Blau got a yellow card, as well as Koji and Gabla. That was Blah in the 9th minute, 29th minute for Koji, and 43rd minute for Glob. And then they had a couple substitutions, but no scoring to report. So that was that last game versus Oakland County. That was back on. If we flip back over here and maneuver things around on the webpage, that was back on the 9th of this month. So I've had about 6 days between games. Now, taking a look at Midwest United FC, they started off competition back on May 8th as they beat Union FC Macomb 3-2 at home. They had a 0-0 game at Lansing City. No one scored, so 0-0 draw. They beat Michiana 1-0 over at Midwest United. That back on the 15th of May. On the 18th of May, they hosted AFC and Arbor. We talk about that one. That was the 3-0 win by Midwest United. They then hosted Oakland County on the 22nd of May and beat them 2-1. They hosted Kalamazoo on the 29th of May and beat them 2-1. They had a 2-0 win over at Oakland Union FC Macomb on the 1st of June. On the 5th of June, they visited Kalamazoo and beat them 1-0. They then traveled over to Flint City back on the 6th. Flint City beat them 2-0. And then they went to Oakland and beat them 4-0 back on the 13th. Those goal scores in the game versus Oakland. That was the last game they played back on the 13th. If we take a look at the action off of the USL2 sites. If I could scroll up a little bit for Midwest United. Takawera had a goal in the 31st minute. White took a yellow card in the 45th minute. Cassidy replaced White in the 63rd minute. In the 65th minute, Clementson scored. And then it was Suleimani scoring in the 75th minute as Nolam replaced Beckett in the 75th minute, as well as Money replacing Suleimani. And then also going in was Irazo replacing Stout. Lockheed went in for Clementson in the 82nd minute. The Money scored the final goal in the 87th minute. As far as action by Oakland County, no goals to report. Yamazaki did pick up a yellow card, as well as RC picking up a yellow card in that game. We do have the starters for today's match, and those are going to be for AFC and Arbor. Moeller will be between the woodwork. Bahigina will be starting, number 8 on the kit, number 10 on the kit. Paris starting. Sarabi, number 11 starting. Durakjin, number 13 starting. Bruin George, number 16 starting. Soga, good to have Shion Soga back. Haven't seen him as of yet this season, but with the team at least last season, if not the season before that. So Soga back in the starting lineup, number 17. 18 is Romero. 20 is Drew Pearson. Kyle is not on the roster today. Lima is number 21. He's starting. And Mujica Garcia, number 23. The substitutes for Ann Arbor are Chardier, number 2, Niker, number 3, Benford, number 7, Martinez, number 9, Valencia, number 19, and Asamoah, number 22. On the other side, starting is number 1, Kluwer for Midwest United, Shannon, number 2, starting, Adamson, number 4, Dunwell, number 6, Irazo, number 7, Baroni, number 8, and here comes the starting line. So we'll just let them be announced and let you see the walkout.
Let's give it up for Maddox and Anthony celebrating their birthdays today. They are going to play for today's walkout. Happy birthday, Maddox and Anthony.
As the team is walking out, we do want to thank Diaza, the team apparel partner of AFC Ann Arbor. Pick up their new 2024 jerseys available at the merch booth in youth, men's, and women's sizes.
Here are tonight's starters for Midwest United. Number 2, Christian Shannon. Number 4, Benjamin Adamson. Number 6, Bradley Dunwell. Number 7, Iker Iraza. Number 8, Giuseppe Baroni. Number 16, Connor Burkett. Number 18, Ezra White. Number 19, Joshua Clemson. Number 25, Aaron Suleimani. Number 30, Vitalis Takawira. And in goal, number 1, Jonathan Kluwer. Your coaches for Midwest United are Luke Ruff, Thomas Bully, Bradley Dunwell, and Hector Fernandez. Now, let's meet the starting 11 for your Mighty Oak. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting your Mighty 11. Number 8, Tiago Martinez. Number 10, Sydney Harris. Number 11, Luke Sowerby. Number 13, Andrew Duraction. Number 16, Jan Brun-George. Number 17, Sean Soga. Number 18, Teddy Romero. Number 22, Pearson. Number 21, Antonio Lima. Antonio Garcia. Number 1, Reese Muller. Coaches for Boy and Lucian Papetti. Your head coach is Rod Asplani.
There's your starting Mighty 11 for the Mighty Oak as they'll have both of the squads go past and give little fist bumps to the officials. Then they'll get their pictures taken. We do want to, again, thank another sponsor, 3-in-1 Fitness, the official fitness partner of AFC Ann Arbor. Check out 3-in-1 Fitness on South Industrial next to Revel and Roll Train, where the team trains. Check them out at 3n1fit.com. We want to thank Bank of Ann Arbor, the title sponsor of AFC Ann Arbor. We thank Bank of Ann Arbor for their continued support. Bank of Ann Arbor can help. Wickfield Properties, the housing partner of AFC Ann Arbor. We thank Wickfield Properties for 9 years of support housing the visiting players for AFC Ann Arbor. We want to thank the Ann Arbor District Library for their incredible support of the Mighty Oak and for all they do for the Ann Arbor community. Units Moving and Storage, the official storage partner of AFC Ann Arbor. Call Units Moving and Storage call them for your storage pond and moving needs. Visit unitstorage.com. Destination Ann Arbor and Ann Arbor Sports Commission, tourism partner of AFC Ann Arbor. Destination Ann Arbor supports our vibrant community by promoting Ann Arbor as a destination choice for travelers. Check them out at annarbor.org. Soccer Shots, the youth training partner of AFC Ann Arbor. Visit the kids' play area hosted by our friends from Soccer Shots. Ann Arbor with Kids is your go-to source for Ann Arbor family fun. Find fun activities, events, deals, and more family fun at annarborwithkids.com. As we're getting ready to go, we do want to wish speedy recovery to our normal director, Mike Butler. He has got bit by a tick and contracted Lyme disease. They caught it early, so hopefully he is feeling pretty miserable, but we hope they caught it early enough and he will be back soon. There is about a 20 to 30% increase in ticks in this area, so please be careful. If you see that bullseye rash, go check out the doctor. But because we had a mild winter, there are a few more ticks. So we wish Mike Butler well, and our sometimes camera person, Megan Wiseman, his wife, taking care of him. So I want to thank filling in at our director spot is James Wiseman, our camera person, Christina Wiseman. My name is Mark Wiseman here on the Play-by-Play Midwest United. Ready to get going. Ann Arbor looking to add more trees to the Ann Arbor parks. Again, AFC Ann Arbor will donate 3 trees. DTE will donate the match 3 trees for every AFC Ann Arbor goal. We are underway. Midwest United bringing it ahead is grabbing at Clementson. Feeds it across over on the far side, picking it up as Adamson. Adamson launches it all the way into the far corner. That will go out the far corner. Sowerby will have it over there on the throw-in for Ann Arbor. Sowerby launches it down the far touchline. That headed up towards the middle of the pitch, sent back as Midwest United feeds it all the way back over to Kluwer. Their keeper, Kluwer, moves it over onto the near side, over to Shannon. Shannon up the near side of the pitch, over on the near touchline, over to Clementson. Clementson trying to feed it ahead is Dunwell. All the way back to Shannon. Shannon moving it ahead to Dunwell. Dunwell back to Shannon. Shannon over on the near side, over to Clementson. Clementson up the near touchline, gets it over to Baroni. Moved back by Clementson, back over to Shannon. Shannon over to Kluwer. Kluwer inside the 18. So we are in the second minute here. Sent right back to Kluwer. Kluwer over onto the near wing, feeds it over to Shannon. Shannon back into the 18 to Kluwer. Just looking for a weakness in this Ann Arbor defense. Kluwer volleys it all the way down as there's going to be a whistle going upwards. Suleimani ended up getting a collision back there as Romero ended up colliding with him. Good sportsmanship by Romero to help Suleimani up. But that will be a foul and a kick for Midwest United as they will have it right on the Ann Arbor side of the middle third. Back to take it, Clementson. Clementson, right foot into it. That arcs into the 18, headed back, grabbed, played down over there by Irazo. Had it, now that pulled away. Here comes Ann Arbor. Ann Arbor moving back over onto near wing, over to Bruin George. Bruin George trying to feed it over to Barhiguinha. Barhiguinha all the way over. Back, that moved ahead, racing through the middle. Fed over onto the near wing, trying to challenge back over there is Paris. Sent all the way back over. Paris, by the way, on the selected last season for the Puerto Rican national team. He's actually a Canadian. Born in Ontario. Ball over on the near wing, over to Clementson. Clementson heads back into his middle third. Now arcs it across the far wing. That popped up by Baroni. Down onto the far wing, trying to knock that away. Back over there, Soga. Soga trying to peel it back. That goes out the far touchline. Soga over there to throw it in. Soga moves it over to Direction. Direction all the way back as Ann Arbor has it on their side of midfield. Romero moves it over to Pearson. Pearson up the near touchline. Pearson over to Paris. Paris racing ahead with it into the attacking third. Paris trying to make a way around Dunwell. And knocked down, played over onto the near wing. Midwest United trying to get it ahead. Now here comes Lima. Lima racing down the near touchline. Lima stops there. Lima trying to arc it across as that will go out. By the way, if you want to check out, I believe it's on Facebook as well as maybe on Twitter, Lima taking over the account as he's been recording his reactions and what his day is like on game days. So you can go to social media for AFC Ann Arbor and check out what it's like to be Lima before a match. Certainly that includes a heck of a lot more athletic talent than I have, but that's not a high bar. Kluwer back. Kluwer arcs it down the pitch as that's popped up back over there by Barhiguinha. Battle for it in the middle third. Barhiguinha trying to get to it. Got tangled up as Paris ends up going down. So you got tangled up over there with Baroni. And it's going to be a kick for Ann Arbor. As Romero descended away. Romero over to Barhiguinha. Gets it back. Romero over onto the far wing. Down the far touchline, fed over by Garcia. Now over onto the near wing, over to Pearson. Pearson sends it back into the 18. Moeller moves it over onto the far wing. Now brought ahead back there by Romero, feeding it down. Garcia trying to feed it ahead. That knocked the other direction by Adamson. Played down right at midfield. Here comes Ann Arbor racing ahead with it as that's fed all the way back. Direction trying to get to it. A shot. And that is fired and in Direction. puts it in at the 5-minute mark, and it's a goal by AFC Ann Arbor. Well set up, direction going down the far wing and being able to fire that in. AFC Ann Arbor with a goal here in the 6th minute. Take the lead.
AFC Ann Arbor goal scored by number 13, Andrew Direction.
So Direction makes it 1-0 Ann Arbor. So that ball played back over, down onto the near wing. Now moving it over onto the far wing, Shannon. Shannon gets it back on the near side of the pitch in the defensive third. That launched all the way down, racing back to get it is Suleimani. Suleimani, and into the near corner and out. The touchline, Suleimani going down. The official going over to make sure Suleimani's all right. Suleimani pleading his case. He'd like it to go to the penalty spot, but no such luck. It is a goal kick here for Ann Arbor. Ball set at the 6 for Moeller. Moeller moves it over onto the far wing. Over to Romero. Romero launches it ahead down the far touchline, fed by Sowerby, and knocked down and out the far touchline. That'll be a throw in. Sowerby on that far touchline, ready to send it in. Sowerby wearing that mask to protect his face. See a little light glinting off of that. He has like the old Bill Lambier mask on. Tells you how old I am. That ball coming down the far wing, trying to feed it ahead back over there was Soga back, and that will go out the end line. Racing back, trying to get to it. Soga trying to feed it over to Sowerby, and just out of his reach. That is going to end up being a goal kick here for Kluwer. Here in the 8th minute, 1-0, Ann Arbor with the lead. So the last few games, the goals have been tough to come by at home, so it's nice to get the early goal and get the early lead on this top of the table team, Midwest United. They lead the Great Lakes Division. That launched ahead by Kluwer. All the way down, that headed back. That'll go out the near touchline. It's going to be a throw-in for Midwest United. Picked up, and Clementson gets it over to Shannon. Shannon trying to move it across. Pressure back there by Ann Arbor. Lehman trying pressure. That launched down. Trying to get to it. Bruin George now bringing it ahead. Here comes Suleimani. Suleimani, that deflected out. The near touchline throw-in by Midwest as Dunwell has it on the near touchline. He'll let Clementson get the throw in. Played down, trying to pull it across is Erazo, all the way over on the far touchline. Sent right back over to Takawira. Takawira feeds it, edge of the 18. That goes out the end line. That's going to be a goal kick for Ann Arbor here in the 9th minute, 1-0. Ann Arbor with the lead. We do want to thank, again, 3N Fitness, the fitness partner of AFC Ann Arbor. Check out 3-in-1 Fitness on South Industrial next to Revel Merle Trade, where the team trades. Check them out at 3n1fit.com. So that ball set on the 6 now. It's Moeller. Ready to send it away. Early 1-0 lead by Ann Arbor. Right foot into it as that's arced into the middle third. Bruin George trying to get to it, headed forward by Midwest United. Now that played back over, trying to steal it away was Garcia. All the way over onto the far wing, picked up there by Burkett. Burkett brings it ahead. Burkett into the attacking third. Burkett sends it right on the edge, trying to bring it ahead. Takawira. Takawira heads back into the middle third. Now launching down the far touchline. That will go, and picked up by Moeller in the 18. Moeller moves to the edge, rolls it over onto the near wing. That over for Pearson. Pearson stops there. Pearson launches it into the middle third. That headed back and out the near touchline off of Midwest United. That'll be a throw-in on the near touchline. Bruin George has it. Bruin George tosses it right over midfield direction, trying to get to it. Played down. Paris trying to pull it away. Now racing ahead with it. Irazo. That is going to be a whistle. That is going to be a kick by Midwest United as Clementson quickly gets it back over to Dunwell. Dunwell over onto the far wing. That launched ahead by Burkett. Burkett right on the edge of the 18, or right on the edge of the defensive third. Pulled back away, trying to get to it. Lima moves it back on the edge of the 18. That's sent right back into Moeller. Moeller over onto the near wing, but a whistle. Oh, there is a injured player down in the middle third. As over to take a look, I think Direction is over talking to him as well as Dunwell. They're both trying to see if he's all right. I think that was Direction. That might have been, excuse me, that was Mujica Garcia who actually went over and made sure he was all right. So, again, love that sportsmanship. Good round of applause by the AFC and Arbor fans. Always love the good sportsmanship, clapping when any injured player gets up. Happy that none of these players are hopefully severely injured. Don't want to see that. Love to see everyone playing their guts out, but you don't want to see any of these amazing athletes injured. That ball is going to be dropped right in the 18, close to Moeller. Moeller will pluck it up there, roll it quickly over onto the far wing, as that's Romero with it. Romero trying to get it ahead into the middle third. Played down by Soga. Soga trying to turn on it. Soga trying to get it ahead. Here comes Gabriel. Garcia trying to get it back over. And launch coming in. Direction with a shot, and that ducked down by Kluwer. Paris has it on the near wing. Paris trying to make his way back. Paris trying to get away from Irazo. That chipped in and in! And Paris with a goal! As Paris able to come across the top and fire it in. And here in the 13th minute, it is 2-0 Ann Arbor.
AFC Ann Arbor 4. Scored by Vincent Cindy Perry.
I know there was an assist coming across, but I didn't see who it was who set up Paris. We'll see if our folks in the scoreboard can get, but we know Paris fired it in. By the way, Paris is a Wake Forest player. Again, born in Oakville, Ontario, and a member of the Puerto Rican national team. He comes up big here as a goal early by Direction, and then Paris has 2-0 up on the board for Ann Arbor. Ann Arbor very happy to get a quick start here against the Great Lakes leading Midwest United team. They're going to want to try and keep that lead and keep the pressure on Midwest United, not give them any sort of momentum to get a comeback, as that's pulled down, moved over. Barriguinha with it in the middle third. Barriguinha gets it back over on the near wing, over to Pearson. Pearson stops Pearson. Moves it over to Romero. Romero coming up the far wing. Romero moving it ahead. Now that grab, racing down the far wing with it. Here comes Ann Arbor over to Lima. Lima trying to move it back to Barriguinha. Lima gets tied up with Irazo. Irazo going down and getting the foul. Here in the 15th minute, trying to work his way around is White. White tries to feed it down on the far side. We do want to thank Bank of Ann Arbor, the title sponsor of AFC Ann Arbor. We thank Bank of Ann Arbor for their continued support and all they do for Washtenaw County. Arc down by Takawira, played down over on that far wing by Soleimani. Ball right on the edge of the attacking third, now sent back into the middle third. Launched by Takawira. Trying to chip it ahead, turning on it into the near wing. Clementson up the near touchline. Clementson fires off a cross that headed back as being able to head that. Pearson Did a great job to knock that out of harm's way. Now here comes the cross, fired right back out the 18, trying to get to it. Lima collides Takawira with it, but that is going to be both Lima and a Midwest United player went down, and it looks like they're going to call that a foul on Ann Arbor. Lima holding his right leg. So Burkett got replaced by Ujitulayo. Lima being attended to, as well as the Midwest United player who's down. I did not see. Oh, that's going to be Adamson, who's down for. So both Lima and Adamson down. They were going for a ball that was sent back to the top of the attacking third for Midwest United, and they both went for the ball and looked like they pretty much got it at the same time, and that couldn't have felt good. They're both being attended to, both getting some treatment, looking like they're both getting their lower bodies attended to. We'll hope that they're both all right. Let the medical professionals do what they need to do. Looks like Lima is up. So he is not putting a lot of pressure on that left leg. They're still attending to Adamson. We do want to thank the Odds, the team apparel partner of AFC Ann Arbor. Again, check out their new 2024 jerseys available at the merch booth in youth, men's, and women's sizes. Again, I believe the tree canopy jersey is one that's back in stock. Is again getting up over there is Adamson, and again a good round of applause by both of those players, by the fans. We also want to thank Wickfield Properties, the housing partner of AFC Ann Arbor. We want to thank Wickfield Properties for 9 years of support, housing the visiting players of AFC Ann Arbor. So good round of applause there as Adamson heads off the pitch. He is slow to come off, but under his own power, so we're glad to see that. We don't want to see him. Takawira set. This is a dangerous free kick position well inside the attacking third. Takawira looks back, ready to fire this one as that's arc deflected back over onto the far wing and out the end line. That is going to be a corner. So Midwest United earns themselves a set piece, and over there I believe it's Baroni quickly moves it over. It's a short kick up the touchline over to Clemenson. Clemenson all the way across the pitch trying to hold it in, and tipped back. Battle for it. Paris trying to get to it. That's sent right back into the middle third as that's sent over by Ojo Tulayo. Ojo Tulayo puts it into the far corner. That out the far touchline. Throw in for Midwest United. Launched in. Takawira looking for a cross. That popped up high by Pearson out the end line. That's going to be another corner for Midwest United as it's 2-0. Ann Arbor with the lead, but Midwest United, they only have 1 loss and 1 draw, 8 wins. They're trying to cut the lead down by 1 as that's chipped across on this set piece. Headed, and that will go out. The end line is Shannon getting his head on that, but didn't quite go where he wants, and now that's going to be a goal kick for Ann Arbor. So Ann Arbor District Library in the house, and Emily Eitzman, who we honored in the first women's game, along with Jenna Tribbiano, the coach of the Michigan women's hockey team, as well as a young pioneer, a pioneer student who I cannot come up with her name off the top of my head. But they were honored by Emily Eitzman's book. She's written a children's book, at least one. I believe she's thinking about working on another one. That's for sale or available in the Ann Arbor District Library down here. So the Ann Arbor District Library in the house. We appreciate that. I can't tell you when I was a kid what it was like when the bookmobile came to our elementary school. That was always an amazing day. Played over. Bruin George has it. Bruin George up over to Paris. Paris heads back down the pitch. Fires it all the way over onto the far wing over to Romero. Romero brings it up the far wing. Romero into the middle third. Romero trying to race ahead with it. Romero that tipped away but grabbed. Here comes Ann Arbor. Slide tackle as Direction trying to get to it. He went down on the pitch. That pulled back. Now Bruin George trying to fire it away. Launched down by Shannon. Back down the near touchline and out. Last touch by Ann Arbor. That is going to be a throw-in by Midwest United as Clemenson has it for Midwest. Clemenson throwing on the near touchline, right back to Clemenson. Clemenson up the near touchline, knocked away by Bruin George. Bruin George down the near touchline. Lima trying to get to it. That's going to be a throw-in by Ann Arbor. Bruin George with it on the near touchline. Deep in the middle third, just outside the attacking third. Bruin George gets it here in the 21st minute. 2-0, Ann Arbor with the lead. Trying to pull it away back there is White. White feeds it right to the middle, tipped by Paris. Now control back over to White. White up the near wing and out the near touchline. That's going to be a throw-in as Baroni to throw it in on the near touchline. Baroni moves it back over to Clemenson. Clemenson on his own side of the middle third. Tipped right back to Baroni. Baroni on the near touchline. Baroni heads up the pitch. Feeds it over to Clemenson. Clemenson rolls it all the way back over onto the far wing as that's launched by Ojo Tulayo. Ojo Tulayo headed up over by Clemenson down on the near wing. Now Romero heading it down the pitch. That goes out the touchline. Just on the inside the middle third as quick throw in there by Clemenson. Clemenson arcs it across the pitch. Direction trying to steal that away from Dunwell. Dunwell right towards midfield, then gets it back. Dunwell down the near touchline over to Clemenson. Clemenson heads back towards his own defensive third. Clemenson rolls it ahead over to White. White back over onto his defensive side. That fed ahead to Shannon. Shannon up the near touchline. Shannon arcs it deep into the attacking third, racing over to get it. Moeller picks it up in the 18. Here in the 23rd minute from Hallway Field, it is 2-0 AFC Ann Arbor in the lead. Their home kits, they're in the white home kits with the Bank of America title sponsor logo on the front. Number is in dark blue on the back. Light blue shorts and light blue socks. Midwest United in their all dark blue jersey kits, They're dark blue kits with the numbers in white on the back, white shorts and white socks. Whistle there as that is a yellow card. Someone being put into the book there. It looks like Irazo got tangled up with the Ann Arbor player, and Bahigina picks up the yellow card. Back over to Shannon. Shannon moves it over to Adamson. Happy to see Adamson okay out there. Ball over on the far wing, trying to get it away as that knocked over by Garcia out the far touchline. Free kick there for Midwest United as they have it on the far touchline, rolling it back over to Adamson. Adamson, Direction trying to provide pressure. Oju Tulayo up the far wing, blasted all the way back, knocked away by Romero. Romero trying to get it away from Takawira. That goes out the end line off of Takawira. He complains, but the call was changed as he pointed the flag over to the 18, but now the call changed as that's going to be a set piece for Midwest United. Here comes a corner. Both hands raised as that's arced across, headed out by Direction down the far touchline, trying to get to it, racing ahead with it. Here comes Soga. Soga coming towards midfield. Soga cuts towards the middle of the pitch. Soga launches it ahead, trying to get to Lima. That knocked away by Dunwell. Now over, trying to cut away with it. Paris has it. Paris coming down the far wing. Paris working hard back there against the 0-2 Julio. Now back, that launch knocked away from direction, trying to get to a Bahigina. Launch the other direction. Here comes Midwest United up the pitch. Midwest United chips it all the way back, trying to play it down. Sowerby back there trying to match Suleimani. Fired, knocked away back there by Romero. That goes out. Well, that goes down the far touchline, able to hold it in. And Arbor, now they launch it into the middle third. That ball right down the far touchline, played down by Ojo Tulayo. Ojo Tulayo moves it back into his defensive third. Over onto the near wing, over to Shannon. Shannon up the near touchline, gets it over to Clemenson. Clemenson racing ahead with it. Clemenson heads towards the center of the pitch. Clemenson left foot into it, all the way across the pitch. Now over to get it. Takawira puts it into the far corner. Racing to try and get it across. Suleimani knocked right back into the middle third where Direction has it. Direction down the far touchline. Direction trying to get ahead as he goes down, and that is going to be a foul and a kick by Ann Arbor here in the 27th minute. Do want to, again, we talked about the Arbor District Library. We want to thank the Arbor District Library for their incredible support of the Mighty Oak and all they do for the Ann Arbor community. That rolls all the way back over to Romero in his defensive third. Romero moves it back over to Moeller. Moeller now launches it into the middle third. That chipped ahead by Sowerby out the far touchline. That'll be a throw-in by Midwest United. Here in the 27th minute, 2-0, Ann Arbor with the lead. Throw in on the far touchline. That over to Baroni. Baroni crossed all the way over to the near wing to Clemenson. Clemenson comes up the near side of the pitch. Clemenson into the attacking third. Clemenson being marked by Paris. Clemenson trying for a cross, and that grabbed as that went out the end line. That will, or grabbing it before it went out the end line, Moeller. So Moeller in the 18 rolls it over to Pearson. Pearson comes up the near side of the pitch, over to Bruin George on the near touchline. Bruin George trying to get away from three different Midwest United players. Now Paris has it. Paris sends it back over to Pearson. Pearson into the 18. Over to that fired all the way by Moeller. That will go down and out the near touchline. Right on Midwest United side of the middle third. Quick throw in there by Shannon. Played down, bringing it head over there is White. White over midfield. Down the near touchline is Clemenson. Clemenson moves it back over to Shannon. Shannon trying to bring it ahead to Dunwell. Dunwell just on his own side of midfield. Over now on the near wing to Clemenson. Clemenson feeds it back over to Shannon. Shannon ahead to Dunwell. Dunwell back, that fired by Adamson all the way down over on the side of the pitch, over to Ojo Tulayo. Ojo Tulayo back over to Adamson. Now rolling it on the near wing over to Shannon. Shannon on the near touchline for Clemenson, trying to feed it ahead. That launch, Clemenson trying to get back behind the defense, and it goes out the near touchline. That'll be a throw-in for Ann Arbor in their defensive third. Here in the 29th minute, 2-0, Ann Arbor with the lead. Throw in on the near touchline. Headed down, played down, trying to pop it over. Bruin George, that launch by Bahigina all the way down on the far side of the pitch. Picked up there by Romero. Romero trying to feed it. Sowerby running ahead of him now. Romero heads towards the middle of the pitch. Romero trying to get past a couple defenders. Excuse me, that was Soga. Forgive me. Here I thought I was being sneaky and picking up the orange boots, but both Romero and Soga wearing very similar boots. Soga with it. Soga coming down the near side of the pitch. Soga gets it over to Paris. Paris into the attacking third, down the near wing. Paris brings it back up the pitch into the middle third. Now here comes Bahigina back into the attacking third, getting it over. Soga trying to run. Soga ends up down in the 18 as that's plucked up back there by Kluwer. Soga had a collision back there. I believe that was Adamson who collided with, and Whipped all the way down onto the near wing, picked up by Clemenson. Clemenson back over, grabbing it. Kluwer just inside the 18. Kluwer moves it. Kluwer has it. Shannon, moves it over to Kluwer. Kluwer launching all the way down towards midfield, played off. And here comes Midwest United over the Baroni, feeding it ahead. That tip by White down the far touchline. Takawira trying to get across. Takawira right at the top of the 18. That tipped back. Now Romero grabs it, fires it all the way down the pitch. That will go right to the far touchline. Held in back there by Midwest United, right on the edge of the attacking third. Back over to Oju Tulayo. Oju Tulayo puts it over onto the near wing. Picking it up is Clemenson. Clemenson just inside the attacking third. Back over to Shannon. Shannon trying to feed it through traffic. That tipped back over. Trying to turn on it back over there is Irazo. Back over to Oju Tulayo. Oju Tulayo feeds it ahead to White. White trying to chip it back. Right over to Takawira. Pull back over on the far side. Tulamani puts on the far touchline. Now that's sent. Here comes Paris for Ann Arbor. Paris moves it towards the near side of the pitch. Paris getting over midfield. Paris trying to launch it ahead to direction. That's stolen away by Shannon. Trying to move it ahead. Sent right back. Paris has it on the near touchline. Paris trying to bring it ahead. He goes down on the pitch. There's a whistle. As Garcia hoping for a card there, but no such luck is set there. Bruin George will kick this away. Here in the 32nd minute, Bruin George looking in as the officials get things set. Bruin George moves it over to Barhigina, gets it back. Now that's sent over on the near wing. Pearson all the way back over to Moeller. Moeller has it just outside the 18. That fed ahead to Barhigina over on the near wing. Pearson back over to Moeller. Pressure coming from Midwest United. That's sent down on the far wing. Romero trying to hold it in, but that goes out. That'll be a throw-in by Midwest United deep in the attacking third. I believe that's Takawira who quickly grabs it. Fired over to Baroni. Baroni trying to get across. That getting over to Clemenson. Clemenson with a shot at Moeller. Knocking it away with a hand and a beautiful save. Takawira has it with the throw-in on that far wing. Back to Takawira on the far touchline. Takawira trying to make it through. That grabbed. Trying to get through it is Baroni, but that knocked away. Baroni on the far touchline. Baroni heading back towards the top of the attacking third. Big pressure back there. So good trying to knock it away. Right into the middle third. Midwest United resets as they get it back to Adamson. Adamson ahead. Leaves it over for White. That tip back. Now fed ahead by Oju Tulayo. Now firing it into the 18. Knocked away. That is going to be a corner. Good work back there by Pearson to take away that opportunity. Quickly back over there. I believe that's Baroni getting ready for this next set piece. Baroni raises his left hand. Baroni arcs it across the 18. Played down by Romero. Back over. Fed across the pitch. That grab by Takawira. Takawira right to the edge of the 18. And fired all the way back down by Romero. Racing ahead to get it. That grabbed. Here comes Ann Arbor. Feeding ahead to Lima. Lima just outside the 18. Lima coming in. That knocked away as Duraction trying to get to a good job to break out by Ann Arbor. But Midwest United did a good job to get their defense back. They didn't panic. They quickly rolled over. Here comes Sowerby. Sowerby moves it back over onto his own side of the middle third to Pearson. Pearson over to Bruin George up the near wing of the pitch. Pearson, that gets ahead. Now sent back over by Lima. Bruin George trying to make his way through three players. Bruin George gets his foot taken out from under him. Irazo pleading his innocence. And it's going to be a Ann Arbor kick just in the middle third. Here in the 35th minute, 2-0, Ann Arbor with the lead. Mujica Garcia has it set. Mujica Garcia raises both of his hands, not just his left hand. Mujica Garcia, right foot all the way across the pitch. Romero has it there. Romero up the far wing. Romero puts it on the far touchline. Over to Sarby. Romero gets it back. Romero over to Pearson. Pearson on his own side of the middle third. Over. Mujica Garcia gets it over to Bruin George. Bruin George back over to Romero, who launches it. And headed back by Midwest United, then popped up by Barriguinha. Coming down, here comes Soga. Soga in the attacking third. Soga heads towards the middle of the pitch. Soga ends up down on the pitch. And fired by Barriguinha, trying to get to a direction, but that pulled back away by Oju Tulayo. That goes out the far side. The officials playing advantage as Ann Arbor had the ball. They didn't want to stop that. Here in the 36th minute. 2-0 Ann Arbor with it. Sowerby fires it across the pitch down to Paris. Paris cuts to his left, and that fired, and that will go out the end line over about 2 feet to the far post, outside the far post. 37th minute here. Kluwer gets it set on the 6. Beautiful day today, by the way. It's supposed to get very warm on Monday, but good breeze today, keeping things a little cooled down. Everyone in the stands, on the near stands, is in the shade now of the press box. Ball over down the near wing. Clemenson coming into the attacking third, trying to get it over. Knocked away by Pearson, trying to keep it in, but he got it away from Baroni. And we'll go with a throw-in on the near touchline by Baroni. Baroni quickly gets it back on the near touchline, trying to feed ahead by Clemenson, trying to get it across. Back the near touchline and out. That will be a throw-in by Ann Arbor as Bruin George will have it. 2-0 Ann Arbor with the lead. We do want to thank Units Moving and Storage, the official storage partner of AFC Ann Arbor. Call it Units Moving and Storage for your storage pod and moving needs. Visit unitstorage.com. Here in the 38th minute, throw in on the near touchline by Bruin George. Down the near touchline, that tipped out by Baroni. And there'll be a throw-in as Paris will have it on the near touchline in the middle third. Paris gets it over to Lima, back to Paris. Paris up the near touchline, that tipped out by Clemenson. Another throw-in just on the edge of the attacking third for Ann Arbor. Here in the 38th minute, 2-0. Ann Arbor with the lead as that's grabbed on the near touchline, just off Paris's foot. That out. Midwest United with the throw-in on the near touchline now. Clemenson with it there. Clemenson just on the edge of the middle third. Clemenson trying to lift it in. That popped down. Now he fires it down back into his middle third. Picked up there. Shannon comes away with it. Shannon trying to get it over to Clemenson. Knocked away by Paris. Paris into the middle third, or into the attacking third. Paris coming down on the near wing. Paris gets across. Oh, just a little high. Now played down. Here comes Soga. Soga trying to get across. Soga fires it, and that grab plucked up by Kluwer. Just on the edge of the far post. That ball fired ahead, quickly thrown over as Irazo with it. Onto the near wing to Clemenson. Clemenson gets it right back over to Baroni. Baroni gets over midfield. Baroni back over to Clemenson up the near touchline. And over to Soleimani. Soleimani racing ahead with it. Soleimani into the middle third. That poked away out the near touchline by Bruin George. Baroni pops it up after a quick throw-in. Mujica Garcia gets it down the near touchline, but Lima couldn't quite hold it in. That'll be a throw-in here by Clemenson. Here in the 40th minute, the ball popped towards the middle third direction, trying to get to a good job to hop right over White, who was sliding down. Ball over onto the far wing. Oju Tulayo with it. Played down right to midfield, trying to get to it. Lima knocked right back over to Shannon on the near wing. Shannon up the near side of the pitch, launches it quickly, popped down by Bruin George. Played back over. Now Pearson arcs it over to the far side of the pitch. Down over there, Takawira has it on the far touchline. Takawira into the attacking third. That's sent right back into the middle third. Controlled back by Dunwell. Dunwell over to White. Now Takawira trying to feed it back into the attacking third. Sowerby had it. Now that bopped by Bahagina. That'll go out. Takawira with the throw-in on the far touchline here in the 41st minute. 2-0. Ann Arbor with the lead. They would like to keep the lead and put some pressure on this Midwest United team. Takawira on that far touchline. Takawira gets it into Baroni. Takawira on the far touchline. That was Burkett back over there. Now coming ahead with it. Suleimani with it. Knocked away. Trying to get to it. Mujica Garcia popped back over there. Clementson working with it. Down the far touchline. Sowerby trying to get that ball away. That's going to be a throw-in for Ann Arbor. As Sowerby a good challenge on Suleimani. Ball went off of Midwest United. Back over to Romero, played down. Romero down on the pitch, off. That went out the far touchline. I think that was an offside, so that will come back. Ann Arbor with it. The Ann Arbor player down, slow to get up now, popping up back over there is Romero. Pearson up over to Bruin George, up the near touchline. Bruin George launches it. That played down over there by Clementson, but trying to bring it in. Here comes Paris. Paris cutting towards the middle of the pitch. Paris goes down, holding his right foot. Here in the 42nd minute, there's a yellow card. So yellow card, I believe that's the Clementson of Midwest United. So foul and a free kick here for Ann Arbor, just outside of the attacking third. Bruin George looks like he's set to take this. 2-0 Ann Arbor with the lead. Now Bruin George thought about running up and waiting for the whistle. There's the whistle. Bruin George. Short kick, gets it back on the near touchline over to Paris. That knocked away. Bruin George playing it with the body as Bruin George back on his own side to the middle third. Over to Pearson. Pearson sends it over to Moeller. Moeller trying to avoid pressure by Suleimani. Back over to Pearson. Pearson heads it up. Here comes Bruin George as that's launched by Bahagina all the way across the pitch. That'll go out right near the Midwest United bench. We do want to thank Destination Ann Arbor and the Ann Arbor Sports Commission, the tourism partner of AFC Ann Arbor. Destination Ann Arbor supports our vibrant community by promoting Ann Arbor as the destination of choice. Visit annarbor.org. Ball controlled over on the far wing. Ojo Tulayo moves it over across. Shannon with it. Shannon up the near side of the pitch over to Clementson. Clementson on the near touchline. Clementson back over to Shannon in his own defensive third here in the 44th minute. 2-0 Ann Arbor with the lead. Over to Adamson. Adamson centered up. Adamson gets ahead to Dunwell. Dunwell back to Adamson in his own defensive third. Now over to Shannon. Shannon up the near wing. Shannon launches it, trying to race ahead with it. Suleimani trying to get to it, and that's grabbed by Moeller in the 18. Minute and a half left until we reach stoppage time here in the first half. That's sent by Pearson back over as launched by Moeller over onto the far wing to Romero. Romero trying to feed it ahead. Romero and Sowerby over there. Whistle. That ball will come out on just outside. That's going to be a kick for Ann Arbor. Romero trying to get everyone to go down the pitch here in the 45th minute. 1 minute before stoppage time. That down the near side of the pitch, headed up by Midwest United, and then launched down the near side. Headed by Pearson back in the 18 over to Moeller, who picks it up. Moeller Rolls it. That grab by Barhiguinha. Barhiguinha over to Romero. Romero trying to feed it ahead. That grabbed. Now launched over. Picking it up. Here comes Soga. Soga launches it ahead. Trying to get to a direction. But that headed over. Good defensive play to get it over to Shannon and steal an effort away from Ann Arbor. Sowerby trying to get that. That goes out, and that is going to be a foul and a kick by Midwest United here, 15 seconds away from stoppage time. As Baroni arcs it across the pitch, trying to get it over to Clementson. That goes out the near touchline. Throw it for Ann Arbor as Bruin George will have it on the near touchline. We are now in stoppage time. 2 minutes of stoppage time here as Bruin George into the middle third as that out. The near touchline grabbed there by White. White looks to his right, then his left. White trying to get it in. That play down, popped up and out the near touchline. I'm going to say Bruin George touched it last. Oh, nope, that's going to be a free kick. Up down now the two throw in. Takawira just trying to confuse me, and sadly that's not hard to do. Ball down the near touchline, fired over, grabbed by Pearson. Pearson launches it back into the middle third. Direction, trying to move it over, coming ahead. Here comes, racing ahead with it, Mujica Garcia. Mujica Garcia puts it all the way down, Direction trying to get to it, but just a little too far ahead. Plucked up by Kluwer in the 18. Again, 2 minutes of stoppage time. We are in stoppage time now. Kluwer has it just on the edge of the 18. Kluwer rolls it ahead, now arcs it all the way down the pitch. He gets it into the middle third, headed up back there by Barhiguinha, then chipped ahead by White. Played down on the far wing. Sowerby trying to get it, and that goes out the far touchline. Quick throw in. Midwest United trying to keep the tempo up. They'd like to get this game to a one-goal game before halftime. Ann Arbor would love to keep that two-goal lead going into halftime. Again, out the far touchline, right in front of the Midwest bench. As wow, Takawira just one hand leaps over the fence back over there and does it again because he's just rubbing that athleticism in the faces of all of us who don't have it. I'm just teasing. That's fantastic, a physical ability. As Takawira turns on it, trying to get it back. It's headed up. Tell you what, I have problems getting out of the couch, let alone hopping over a fence like that, but that's okay. Ball set. This is going to be a free kick and a spot of menace inside the attacking third. Over on the far touchline here in stoppage time. Midwest United with an opportunity here as that's arced ahead, headed up and down onto the near wing. Played down and volleyed as that luck got itself very high up into the stands. A number of kids trying to go back and get that as Pearson, I think it was Bruin George who ended up down on the pitch. He gets a hand up from Pearson. Again, here in stoppage time. And that will do it. That is the end of the first half. At the end of one, it is 2-0. Ann Arbor with the lead going into halftime. As we'll step away, we'll play a little bit of music, then we will do our scoreboard report and talk about our wonderful sponsors of AFC Ann Arbor. But first, we're going to come in and play a little bit of music, and we'll be right back. You're watching AFC Ann Arbor, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting, 2-0 at the half. AFC Ann Arbor with the lead. As we are at the half, and it is 2-0 Ann Arbor with the lead over the top of the table, Midwest United. Let's take a look at our scoreboard report for USL2. Taking a look at our schedule here. See if that'll pull up properly for me. You can find a lot of information at the USL2 site. That's www.uslleague2.com, including your schedule here. So if we take a look back on, if we go back to, the 12th is a good time. Christos FC with the 3-1 win over the Punxsutawney football Athletics. Project 501 beat Davis Legacy 3-1. It was San Francisco Glens over top of Monterey Bay 2-0. Charlotte Eagles taking out West Virginia United 2-1. It was Albany Rush topping Boston City FC 2-1. Arizona Arsenal SC 2 and Copa FC 0. It was a 0-0 draw between Tennessee SC and Athens United. It was Brave SC with a 4-1 win over Brevard SC. Cedar Stars and Ironbound SC had a 1-1 draw. On the continuing on the 12th, it was 2-0 Des Moines Menace beating Chicago City SC. It was FC Olympic beating United PDX 1-0. 2-0 Florida Elite Soccer topping Brookhouse FC. It was a 1-1 draw between Hudson Valley and Winchester Flames. Kalamazoo FC with a 5-0 win over Michiana FC. It was Louisville Crew FC falling to Blue Goose 4, Louisville Crew 3. Hattiesburg had a 1-0 win over Mississippi Brilla. It was Noah FC with a 3-1 win over Inter Gainesville KF. As also on the 12th, Real Central New Jersey 3-2 over the LVU Rush. It was a 2-2 draw between South Carolina United and Salem City FC. 3-3 draw between Riverlight FC and St. Charles FC. Toledo Villa FC with a 2-win win over Fort Wayne SC. It was North Carolina FC U23 over Wake FC 3-2. 2-2 draw between Birmingham Legion and East Atlanta. It was 2-0 win by the Long Island Rough Riders over Manhattan FC. It was a 4-4 draw between Tampa Bay United and Sarasota Paradise. Hopping over to page 2 here and continuing on. On the 12th, it was a 2-0 win by the Charlottesville Blues, 2-0 over the Virginia Marauders, 3-3 draw between the St. Croix Legends and Bavarian United SC, 4-0 win Midwest United over top of Oakland County. We talked about that. That was on the 13th. Also on the 13th, Redlands FC with a 6-1 win over South California. It was a 2-0 win by RKC Third Coast over Minneapolis City SC, 2-2 draw between Flatirons FC and Albion SC Colorado. It was on the 14th. No score reported for the Dutch Lions and Sereno. It was a 3-2 win FC Buffalo over top of King Hammers FC. Ballard FC with a 2-1 win over Lane United FC. It was West Seattle Junction with a 4-1 win over Midlakes United. Reading United beat Westchester United 4-3. It was a 2-1 win by St. Croix Legends over Thunder Bay Chill. 3-0 by the Ventura County Fusion on top of AMSG FC. And then it was a 2-2 draw between the Marion FC Legends and Almenden FC. The Boston Bolts beat the Pathfinder FC 4-1. It was a 1-0 win earlier today as Albany Rush beat Blackrock FC. 1-0 win by the Cleveland Forest over the Dayton Dutch Lions. And those are all the scores to report. No other scores reported for today. We do want to thank all the wonderful, amazing sponsors of AFC Ann Arbor. Remember, if you do buy a Kids Club membership from AFC Ann Arbor, and AFC Ann Arbor will donate $5 for each purchase to the PTO Council. We want to thank Diazza, the team apparel partner of AFC Ann Arbor. Check out the new 2024 jerseys available in the merch booth in youths, men's, and women's sizes. Wear the jersey the team wears. 3-in-1 Fitness, the fitness partner of AFC Ann Arbor. Check out 3-in-1 Fitness on South Industrial next to Revel and Roll. Train where the team trains. Check them out at 3n1fit.com. Bank of Ann Arbor, the title sponsor of AFC Ann Arbor. We want to thank Bank of Ann Arbor for their continued support. Bank of Ann Arbor can help. Wickfield Properties, the housing partner of AFC Ann Arbor. We want to thank Wickfield Properties for 9 years of support, housing the visiting players of AFC Ann Arbor. We want to thank the Ann Arbor District Library for their incredible support of the Mighty Oak and for all they do for the Ann Arbor community. Units Moving and Storage, the storage partner of AFC Ann Arbor. Call Units Moving and Storage for your storage pod and moving needs. Visit unitstorage.com. Destination Ann Arbor and the Ann Arbor Sports Commission, the tourism partner of AFC Ann Arbor. Destination Ann Arbor supports our vibrant community by promoting Ann Arbor as a destination of choice for travelers. Check them out at annarbor.org. Soccer Shots, the youth training partner of AFC Ann Arbor. Visit the kids' play area when you come to a game hosted by our friends from Soccer Shots. Ann Arbor with Kids, your go-to source for Ann Arbor family fun. Find fun activities, events, deals, and more family fun at AnnArborWithKids.com. As there have been 12 goals earned already in this game, 3 goals by AFC Ann Arbor. DTE is matching those 3 goals, so 6 those trees, so 6 trees per goal, and therefore 12 goals or 12 trees in this game. I'm going to try and say that right. So 2 goals, 12 trees. There you go, up there. We'll step away for just a brief moment, play just a touch more music, and then we'll be back because we got about 3 minutes, 30 seconds left in this halftime. It is 2-0 Ann Arbor with the lead here over Midwest United, as Ann Arbor will try and keep that lead and build on it in the second half. All right, let's take a moment as we're playing music. Let's do some replays of the 2 goals here as we'll click and play there. As we have the first goal coming down and a beautiful shot in just inside the top left-hand corner. Then this one arced in again in the upper left-hand corner as the first goal by Direction, the second goal by Paris. As just want to give you a little replay of both those items there. As we have about a minute counting down. Both squads are out on the pitch now. Again, Ann Arbor is going to go from right to left here in this, the second half. Lights are on here at Hallway Field. Good crowd out here. We appreciate that. So everyone's set, direction ready to get going. Weather at the second half, 73 degrees here. Some wispy clouds in the sky. As we are underway, ball all the way over to Romero. Romero cuts up the near side of the pitch, launches it through the middle third. Grab played down now, trying to come over, trying to feed it over to Soga. And knocked away there by Oju Tulayo. Ball over now, sent by Baroni over on the far wing. Picked up there by Shannon. Shannon trying to get it all the way down. And knocked down over is Barhiginian. Barhiginian trying to fire it all the way back down. And it goes out the far touchline. Throwing quickly there by Midwest United, trying to feed it ahead. Ball chipped over. Takawira feeds it into the far corner. As that stopped there on the far corner, looking to trying to get it back deep. Good job by Pearson trying to mark over there. As pulled away, racing ahead. As fired over, grabbed, picked up there. Coming ahead with it is Mujica Garcia. Coming ahead is moved over. Coming in Lima. And knocked away. And fired over. Sowerby with it as Lima had beat the goalie, but a defender coming back for Midwest United and keeping it. A 2-goal game. Mujica Garcia coming down the far pitch. Mujica Garcia trying to make his way in. Fires it, and then just a little high over to the near side. What an opportunity, and just a really good job by a defender over there. I don't think that was Adamson. I think a piece of it might have been Ojo Tulayo. But I'm not positive over there. Set back. Kluwer ready to send it away. Again, get your fantastic AFC and Arbor Diaza kit. Diaza, the official kit provider of AFC and Arbor. They do a fantastic job. You can pick it up here at the game in men's, women's, and youth sizes. Also visit afcandarbor.com. and buy your kit and get it shipped to you. That goes out down the near touchline, popped up high by Romero. And we'll go down the near touchline and out, bounce into the stands as we have a number of awesome young folk racing over to try and get that ball and throw it over. Throw in here by Nolan. Trying to arc it all the way down. Sowerby with the head that popped up. As over-the-shoulder kick played down and out the near touchline. Soga with it there. Soga will leave it as Sowerby. It's that Cassidy throwing it over to him. Now coming up. Barhigina trying to get it over. That chipped high by Soga all the way across the pitch. Down by Bruin George. Bruin George up the far wing. Bruin George into the middle third. Now gets it over to Barhigina. Barhigina up the middle of the pitch. Launches it down the near wing. Trying to get it to Soga. Soga coming ahead with it. Soga as he's poked off of the ball by Ojo Tulayo. Ojo Tulayo again a very good defensive play. That plucked up by Kluwer. Kluwer just on the edge of the 18. Well, Soga, first game with the team this season, already letting his talent be felt on the pitch. Rolled over now, blasted down the pitch by Kluwer. Down into the attacking third. Again, over the shoulder kick there by Sowerby, trying to get to it. Popped ahead now, racing. Here comes Lima. Lima trying to get to it. As that knocked away by Ojo Tulayo. Right back over to Kluwer. Kluwer lofts it into the middle third. That headed back. Now picked up. Trying to feed it through traffic. Knocked down over onto the near wing. And plucked up as Mujica Garcia trying to fire that away right to midfield. Controlled by Midwest United. Trying to come away with it is Suleimani. Now here comes Barhigina. Barhigina moves it over to Bruin George. Back ahead to Paris. Paris trying to get around a couple players. Back to Bruin George on that far touchline. Bruin George back over to Pearson in his own defensive third. Back behind him, Suleimani trying to get to him now. Moeller sends it down the near touchline. Over to Soga. Soga just inside the attack middle third. Over as good job by Mujica Garcia to keep it in. And sent ahead. Stopped by Romero. Romero trying to get around Nolan. Nolan Back over. Here comes Baroni. Baroni earns a free kick. Baroni lofts it all the way down onto the far side of the pitch. Played down over there. Trying to race ahead, trying to move over is Clementson. Clementson pulled away. Bruin George over to Lima. Lima. Bruin George ends up down on the pitch as he got caught up. I believe that was Clementson coming past Bruin George. Slow to get up. Pearson over to grab that ball, and it's going to be a kick by Ann Arbor here in the 51st minute. Back to kick it away is Kluwer. Kluwer rolls it over on the near wing. Or excuse me, that was Moeller, forgive me. Sarby with it. Sarby trying to get it back over to Romero. Fed ahead, Soga with it. Soga trying to work his way past. Soga battling with Cassidy. As that is going to be... that is going to be Baroni. Ready to kick it away. Still waiting for everyone to get back. Again, this is a dangerous kick, dangerous spot for a free kick. Baroni lofts it forward, headed, and now go out. The end line. Midwest United trying to claim it was tipped by Ann Arbor, but that will be a goal kick. Here in the 53rd minute, ball over to Romero. Romero heading up the center of the pitch. Romero arcs it into the middle third. Headed back the other way by Midwest United. Played back over to Dunwell. Dunwell on the far side, that arced ahead into the 18th. RB trying to get to it and launch back now. Takawira with it. Takawira just outside the 18. Good job by Mujica Garcia to get a foot on it. That shot sent by Dunwell, but that a little too high out the end line. That will be a goal kick for Ann Arbor. We do want to thank Ann Arbor with Kids, your go-to source for Ann Arbor family fun. Find fun activities, events, deals, and more. Family fun at AnnArborWithKids.com. Ready to send it away is Moeller. Moeller, right foot into it. Down the far wing, headed back into the defensive third. Now sent into the middle third, racing ahead with it. Mujica Garcia over to Soga. Soga trying to get it back over to Mujica Garcia. Back to Soga on the edge of the 18. Soga trying to work his way through traffic. Keeps it in. Back to Mujica Garcia. Looking for a cross. That ahead. Headed back out of the way over there by Shannon. Down onto the far wing. Now Paris with a shot off the woodwork. Off the woodwork and high up. It almost looked. It didn't completely cross the goal line. But boy, off of the inner corner of that post. And somehow bounced out and not in. Mujica Garcia ended up down on the pitch. That is going to be a free kick again in a spot of menace here for Ann Arbor. Soga setting up for this kick. 2-0 Ann Arbor with the lead here in the 55th minute. Soga raises his left hand. Soga, right foot into it, across, and that grab, but a whistle. As the official set, they're going to try that again. I don't think they had officially blown it live. There's the whistle. Here comes Soga's kick, arcing all the way across, and that grab by Kluwer. Kluwer fires it all the way down, headed up in the middle third, now played down Money went down on the pitch. That is going to be called a foul and a kick by Midwest United. They launch it ahead right through the middle third, moved back over as Baroni over Takawira up the near side of the pitch, moves it over to Cassidy. Cassidy into the attacking third. Cassidy trying to get it over. Here comes Suleimani. Suleimani on the edge of the 18. Suleimani heads up the pitch, gets it over. Baroni launches it over onto the far wing, played down back over there. Money trying to get out of the way. Pearson fires it all the way down, that back into the middle third. Collected there, Shannon with it. Shannon trying to move it. Baroni on the far wing, now trying to work his way out. Paris, that will go out the line, or now coming quickly ahead. Dunwell down the far wing. Dunwell, that goes out the far touchline. That is going to be as there's going to be a yellow card, and I believe that yellow card was on Suleimani, who got a little physical trying to move Ann Arbor players out of the way. As they're trying to keep this, there's been a little bit more physicality after the whistle on a couple of these plays. They're trying to keep things under control as one of the Midwest players gets put in the book. Here in the 57th minute, but again, a good opportunity for Midwest United as Baroni has it inside the attacking third over on the far touchline. Excuse me, Bruin George picked up the yellow card as that all the way in and grabbed by Moeller. All the way back. Headed up down the way into the attacking third. Shannon racing back to get it. Shannon chips it over to Kluwer. Kluwer rockets it all the way down. As played down over there by Barhiguinha. Barhiguinha trying to get it. Mujica Garcia now. Ball over onto the far wing. Rocketed ahead. Down the near touchline. Racing to get it. Cassidy. Now we'll go right into the 18. Moeller with it. Moeller arcs it. Down over to Sowerby. Sowerby rockets it down the pitch. That will go out the near touchline. Throw in by Takawira. Takawira quickly gets it right back over on the near wing. Takawira just shy of midfield. Rolls it back. Now Oju Tulayo getting it over to Adamson. Adamson over to Shannon down the far touchline. Picked up back there. Trying to work their way ahead. Paris coming over to challenge. Dunwell sends it ahead. Now that's sent right back into the middle third. All the way across to Adamson. Adamson over to Baroni. Baroni arcs it up the pitch. Sowerby racing back, trying to get to it before Takawira. Takawira on the near touchline. Takawira gets it over to Cassidy. Cassidy back to Takawira. As that is going to be a foul and a kick by Takawira. They tried a quick version of it. The official trying to make sure the everything gets set. Takawira ready to send this away. Takawira. Right foot arcing over, headed by Sowerby all the way back over on the far wing. Grabbed there by Dunwell. Dunwell trying to send it ahead. That arced up. Mujica Garcia trying to get to it now. Sowerby lofts it all the way down. Out the near touchline, still just inside the attacking third. Takawira quickly over. Baroni with it. Baroni floats it over on the far wing, trying to get to it is Money. Money puts it into the 18. Baroni trying to get to it and sliding down and grabbing it. Good job by Moeller. Here in the 60th minute, 2-0, Ann Arbor with the lead. Back to Moeller. Moeller launches it down on the far wing. Bruin George trying to get to it, but that headed up. Trying to hold it in is Baroni. That ball taken away, and Lima trying to get to it and going down on the pitch, getting their feet tangled up. "61 minutes here in the 61st minute. 2-0. Ball set back. I believe that's done well. Dunwell, right foot into it, down, that headed over, and Moeller grabs it as it popped up right in the 18. Moeller grabbing it here. Moeller comes out to the edge of the 18, trying to send everyone deep down the pitch. 2-0, Ann Arbor with the lead here. Moeller lofts it down the far touchline. Parrish trying to head it that into the attacking third for Ann Arbor. Shannon has it on the far touchline. Quickly ahead to Dunwell. Dunwell trying to move it. Big challenge there by Parrish. That ball back over to Shannon. Shannon arcs it down the far side of the pitch as that headed back by Pearson into the middle third. Play down over there trying to get to it is Money. Ahead, back over onto that far wing. Money racing to get it. Knocked away. Good job by Romero. Romero up the far touchline. Romero arcs it down the pitch back into the middle third. Over on the near wing to Dunwell. Dunwell moves it back over to Oju Tulayo. Oju Tulayo sends it up the near wing over. Takawira has it out the end line. That will be a goal kick for Ann Arbor. Moeller gets it set. He'll get set on the 6. Now Moeller will move it over on the edge of the 6. Here in the 63rd minute. That arced all the way down onto the far wing, headed back over. Good job by Lima, played down, trying to get to it back over there. Money moves it over on the far touchline. Coming up, here comes Baroni. Baroni all the way down onto the far wing, down the far touchline, stopping there. Trying to get it over as Nolan popped up, now launched. That is going to be Midwest United. Quick throw in by Baroni. Baroni cuts towards the middle. That popped away by Paris all the way back into the middle third. Shannon has it just on the Ann Arbor side of midfield. Popped over by Dunwell over on the far touchline. And trying to feed it ahead back over there to Suleimani. Out the far touchline, Ann Arbor with the throw-in over there. Here in the 64th minute. We do want to thank Soccer Shots, the youth training partner of AFC Ann Arbor. Visit the Kids Play area, hosted by our friends from Soccer Shots. All the way back, Romero lifts it down the pitch. Headed back by Lima, over, played down by Mujica Garcia. Mujica Garcia trying to get it over, coming ahead with it. As that's fired all the way down, trying to get it over to direction. Paris ended up down on the pitch. Now launched all the way back, sliding, trying to knock it away. Pearson now lifted right back by Barragina, right to midfield. All the way over onto the near wing to Takawira. Takawira into the attacking third. Takawira now trying to dribble towards the center. Takawira crosses it across. And that tipped over and grabbed. Moeller has it. Moeller plucks it up. Is a good job trying to make sure that Midwest United couldn't get a good shot there. 65th minute here at Hallway Field. 2-0, Ann Arbor with the lead. Now here comes the kick by Moeller. Moeller headed up back there by Adamson. Played down in the middle third by Higuina trying to get to it. He collides back there with Money. Down over onto the near wing. Cassidy has it. Cassidy coming into the attacking third. Down the near side of the pitch. Cassidy cuts towards the middle of the pitch. Cassidy gets it right back over to Dunwell. Dunwell just in the middle third. Dunwell trying to get around Soga. Over to Takawira on the near wing. Takawira trying to go up pitch. Takawira trying to get over to the side. Takawira gets across. Batted out. Good job to punch it away by Moeller. That is going to be a corner. Here, big set piece by Midwest United. Here in the 66th minute. Left hand raised, that booted, headed up, and now launched all the way down. I believe that was Direction who fired it all the way back. Racing back, trying to get to it, Mujica Garcia. Play back over by Dunwell. Dunwell in the middle third. Moving it over onto the near wing over to Cassidy. Cassidy, that will go out the near touchline. Throwing over here. Soga grabs it. Soga pops it over to Sowerby. Sowerby with the throw in on the near touchline. Sowerby waiting for everyone to get set. Sowerby lofting it towards midfield. Gets it over to Lima. Played away, Takawira down the near touchline. That fired all the way back over to Oju Tulayo. Oju Tulayo over to Shannon. Shannon brings it up the middle of the pitch. Direction coming over. Now trying to get to it over on the far wing. Launched into the 18. Grabbed as Moeller has it there. Here in the 67th minute at Hallway Field. 2-0 Ann Arbor with the lead. We do want to thank Destination Ann Arbor and the Ann Arbor Sports Commission, the tourism partner of AFC Ann Arbor. Destination Ann Arbor supports our vibrant community by promoting Ann Arbor as a destination traveler, a destination of choice for travelers. Sowerby fires it ahead. Visit to find out more at annarbor.org. Coming ahead, Cassidy with it. Cassidy trying to get the cross. Cassidy. As Sowerby picks up a yellow card, and again, a lot of everyone in each other's faces after the whistle by both squads here. Sowerby picks up the card. He is in the book as they are chatting over. Soga trying to get everyone moved away. That's going to be a free kick here for Midwest United again. Takawira, I did not see a card. The official looked like he was backing off the Midwest United players, but I did not see a card issued to them. He had a yellow card in his hand when he was talking to the Midwest player. There might have been a yellow card, but more, I think, trying to get people backed off. Again, a big set piece, two-person wall here by Ann Arbor. Takawira deep in the attacking third, cuts it across. Good job to head it out by Romero, back all the way over onto the far wing as that will go out. The end line, good job by Bruin George to use his body to protect that ball. So he has to go down by the field hockey goals over there to find it. Ball set at the edge of the six here in the 69th minute, 2-0, Ann Arbor with the lead. Moeller raises the right hand. He's taking his time. There's the whistle. And now there is something going on right at midfield as everybody gathered around the official. So Sowerby trying to get everyone back away from the official. Right at the official, Suleimani. As I was watching the goalkeeper, I did not see what happened. As Lima talking, as again, this game is lots of emotion. A couple subs looking to come on for Ann Arbor, but something happened right in the middle again. I was focused down on the goal. And it looks like Barhigini is going to go out for a substitution. So Barhigini goes off, number 8. And coming in is Chartier for Ann Arbor. And Mujica Garcia goes off. And coming in for Mujica Garcia is Benford. So Benford and Chartier in for Ann Arbor. Here in the 71st minute. Right foot by Moeller. Lifts it down the pitch. Headed back by Lima. That towards the attacking third. Now racing ahead with it. Grabbing it. Suleimani. Down that far touchline. Tipped over by Moni. Now over trying to grab it back. There's Dunwell. Again, free kick here for Midwest United. As that's launched into the 18. Plucked up there by Mahler. Here in the 72nd minute. 2-0, Ann Arbor with the lead. That ball all the way back. Shannon trying to head it over. That grab by Benford. Bring it up the pitch. Benford gets over onto the near wing. Grabbing a direction with a cross that goes out the end line. That is a corner for Ann Arbor. As good job by Direction to earn himself a corner. So set piece here for Ann Arbor. Lima ready for this set piece here in the 73rd minute. 2-0 Ann Arbor with the lead. Lima moves it over to Paris. Short kick, Paris on the near wing. Paris heading towards the middle. Arcs it over on a cross. Then just over the 18. Benford has it on the far wing. Benford trying to move it up. Now over to Pearson. Pearson arcs it back into the 18. That bounces. Grabbed by Kluwer. On the edge of the 18, rolls it all the way out over to Cassidy. Up the near side of the pitch, moves it back over to Oju Tulayo. Over to Shannon. Trying to move it ahead. That ball over on the far touchline. Over, launched back away. Trying to feed it back over was Chartier. All picked up over on the near wing to Ojo Tulayo lifts it all the way down that out the near touchline. Trying to find Cassidy. Just out of his reach. That should be a throw-in by Ann Arbor on the near touchline here in the 74th minute. Sowerby on the near touchline. Sowerby calling out signals, trying to get everyone ahead. Launched down, headed up by Lima. Now rocketed back by Adamson. Offside the call. So that ball set, looking to send it away. Here comes Romero with a line drive blast all the way back into the defensive third. Just over Shannon's head, but right into the 18. Grabbed there by Kluwer. Moves it, now racing up Dunwell. Dunwell puts it down the far touchline here in approaching the 75th minute. Coming ahead with it. Here comes Soga. Soga through traffic. Soga arcs it, trying to get it down to Direction. That headed the other direction by Adamson. Played down, poked back, grabbed by Shannon on the far side. Shannon in his own defensive third moves it over to Baroni. Baroni trying to get through. Now good job by Benford to steal it away. Benford over to Direction. Direction launches it and in, and it's a goal! AFC Ann Arbor makes it 3-0 with a beautiful goal. Blast from the top of the attacking third. 3-0 Ann Arbor here in the 75th minute. here in the 75th minute. Goal Ann Arbor. That was a brace as Direction took it and fired it all the way in. So Direction with 2 goals. He is the leader in goals for Ann Arbor as he had 5 coming into this game. 7 goals by Direction. By the way, that would be 21 trees just earned by Direction by Ann Arbor. 21 trees by DTE. So 42 trees created by Direction alone. Down on the far wing, 3-0 Ann Arbor with the lead here in the 76th minute. That ball out the far touchline. As that will be a throw-in. Chartier tosses it in down the far touchline, played ahead with it by Paris. It's out the far touchline. Here in the 77th minute, 3-0, Ann Arbor with the lead over top of the table, Midwest United. Over that launch, down and out. The far touchline, throw in by Ann Arbor now, right in front of the Ann Arbor bench. Chartier with the throw in. On the far touchline, Chartier. Played down by Lima, now grab, moving ahead. Baroni with it. Takawira sends it down the far touchline. Now ahead, that tipped over by Suleimani. Coming ahead with it. There's a cross as that goes all the way over. That'll come down on the near wing. Benford gets it. That popped ahead by Sowerby all the way back towards the middle third. Now that will be launched as trying to get to it was Lima, but popping it up high was Ojo Tulano. That's going to be a free kick here by Takawira. As that's a yellow card to Lima. As the AFC Ann Arbor fans voiced their pleasure about that yellow card to Lima. So Lima in the book. Ojo Tulayo back to kick it away. And Takawira, they're going to send it back as the whistle hadn't blown. Ojo Tulayo now back over Takawira. Takawira up the near touchline. Takawira gets it over, popped over by Suleimani. And ball down back to Takawira. Takawira launches it down the near touchline. That will go all the way down and out the end line for a goal kick here in the 79th minute at Hallway Field. 3-0 Ann Arbor with the lead over Midwest United. Moeller will get the ball set. The game has definitely gotten a lot more chippy here in the second. Moeller, he's taking his time. So obviously Ann Arbor would love to take as much time as possible. So everyone running up down the pitch, excuse me. We do want to thank Units Moving and Storage, the storage partner of AFC Ann Arbor. Call Units Moving and Storage for your storage pod and moving needs. Visit unitstorage.com. And we'll get it set and ready to boot it away. We should have some significant stoppage time here in about 11 minutes. That ball down, trying to head it. That just over Benford as Martinez trying to get to it. Now brought ahead down the near wing. Grabbed, coming over with it. Paris looking for a cross. Paris trying to get over. As that popped over, Bruin George over to Soga. Soga trying to dribble to his left. Soga trying to get around as there's a whistle. And that goes to Midwest United. Launched ahead by Ojo Tulayo. All the way back now, Sowerby sends it into the 18. Launched all the way down. Benford pops it over now. Baroni trying to get it, trying to pop it off of Benford. Benford brings it ahead. Benford arches it. Knocked down by Shannon. Trying to get over to it is Martinez. The ball controlled. Now turning on it is Money. Money trying to come down the far end of the pitch. Money tips it right back over to Cassidy. Now launched away, knocked away. Good job. Pitched over onto the far wing. And here comes Paris as he was fed ahead by Soga. Paris goes down as the Midwest United player. So there's a yellow card on Dunwell, number 6. So there is a yellow card, on number 6, Dunwell. And Dunwell actually put his arm around Paris's shoulder. It looked like he was apologizing. And here in, as we approach the 82nd minute. So here in the 82nd minute, well, they're lucky they just show yellow cards and not actually hand them out because the official wouldn't have any left at this point. And ball all the way back, trying to get to a nice job to knock it away back there by Sowerby. Now battle for it on the far wing. Paris trying to get around. Paris cutting towards the middle, over onto the near wing. Benford has it. Benford just outside the 18. Benford cutting across the pitch. Benford fires it, and that will go out the end line. That will be a goal kick here for Midwest United. Kluwer gets it set. Rolls the ball over to Adamson. Adamson now over onto the far wing. Over to Shannon. Shannon. So Hawk Maui in for Dunwell. That ball over onto the far wing now, launching it ahead into the attacking third. Benford racing down, but that plucked up back there by Kluwer. Here in the 83rd minute. Down the near touchline it goes. Sowerby trying to get to it. Sowerby battling back there with Cassidy. Cassidy had a good chunk of jersey of Sowerby's that launched ahead. Trying to get to it is Martinez. Martinez battling down the near wing by Ojo Tulayo. And we'll go out the near touchline. Ojo Tulayo with the quick throw in. Over to Baroni. As that was over to Baroni. Down, trying to get to it. Bruin George goes down to the pitch. Popped away. Takawira with it. Takawira cutting towards the middle. Moved back over to Money. Money puts it all the way over onto the far side of the pitch. Good job trying to keep in front of it by Chartier. That goes all the way down out the end line. That'll be a goal kick for Ann Arbor here in the 84th minute. Moeller is going to have it set at the 6. 3-0 is the lead by Ann Arbor. We do want to thank Bank of Ann Arbor, the title sponsor of AFC Ann Arbor. Thank you to Bank of Ann Arbor for all they do for AFC Ann Arbor and all of Washtenaw County. Now that ball rocketed all the way past. And thank you to Wickfield Properties as well. 9 years they have housed the visiting AFC Ann Arbor players. Thank you, Wickfield Properties. Headed by Benford towards the middle. Now Paris trying to turn on it. Back over to Soga. Soga coming down the near wing. Soga gets it right back over to Bruin George. Bruin George over to Paris. Now coming up. Racing ahead with it is Chartier. Chartier down the far wing. Brought back over to Paris. Paris coming up the far touchline. Paris trying to put it into the attacking third. That goes out the far touchline. Here in the 85th minute, that'll be a throw-in by Ann Arbor. Chartier on the far touchline. 3-0. Ann Arbor with the lead over the Great Lakes Division leading Midwest United as that's moved over. Trying to get to it. Valencia played back, but a whistle as contact and that moved over. Quickly moved back over by Baroni. Baroni has it. Martinez providing from coverage over Ojo Tulayo with it. Ojo Tulayo launches it all the way down, trying to get to Cassidy. That knocked over by Sowerby. over. Romero had it. Now right back over to Sowerby on the near touchline. Sowerby lifts it down the pitch. Valencia heads it, trying to get it over to Martinez. Martinez. That popped away by Adamson. Right back over. Moved by Shannon back over to Kluwer. Kluwer up the near side of the pitch. Over to Ojo Tulayo. Ojo Tulayo lifts it ahead. That headed back by Money, knocked away back there. Good job by Pearson. Now racing ahead with it. Here comes Ann Arbor trying to get it down the pitch, making a nifty move as that's knocked away from Paris. Dispossessed, now coming the other direction. Baroni. Right to middle, that moved over. Here comes Benford. Benford brings it up the pitch. Benford has Valencia just ahead of him. Benford cuts towards the middle. Benford taking off the ball. Benford flips it back over to Soga. Soga over to Paris. Paris just inside the attacking third. As we have about 4 minutes, 15 seconds left to go before stoppage time. Chartier trying to get through traffic. That popped right back into the middle third. Bruin George fired all the way over to Sowerby on the near touchline. Sowerby rolls it right back over. Played down. Here comes Soga. Soga gets it back over to Bruin George. Bruin George on the far touchline over to Chartier. Chartier back to Bruin George in the middle third. Bruin George over to Soga. Soga. Now Soga gets it back over to Romero. Romero right at the blockades over on the far wing. Romero gets it back. Romero lofts it ahead. Played by Valencia. Valencia into the middle third. Valencia coming ahead with it. Valencia with the shot. Down. And ooh, that just missed the far side. Kluwer looking to get that. And that should be a corner indeed as Kluwer touched it going out the end line. So a corner by Ann Arbor. We want to thank, check out 3N1 Fitness on South Industrial, the official fitness partner of AFC Ann Arbor. They're right next to Revel and Roll. Train where the team trains. Check them out at 3n1fit.com. Bruin George out. Two players coming in for Ann Arbor, as that's going to be Niker coming in, as well as Asamoah. So Asamoah and Niker in for Ann Arbor. That headed back. Asamoah trying to get to it. Knocked right back towards the middle third. That ball will go back. Handled back there by Romero. Romero chips it down onto the near wing. Sowerby with it here in the 88th minute. 3-0, Ann Arbor with the lead. Soga over onto the near wing for Niker. Niker on the near touchline. Niker trying to chip it out. That knocked, and that'll go out the near touchline. Play down as Asamoah trying to get to it. That sent right back down on the far touchline. Shannon with it. Shannon trying to poke it forward. That ball comes back. Now Adamson down on the near touchline. Ojo Tulayo fires it all the way down, headed right back. Moved ahead onto the near wing. Niker with it. That sent out the near touchline by Nolan. As we have 1 minute, 30 seconds left before stoppage time. Asamoah ahead. Here comes Chartier. Chartier right over midfield trying to get around Takawira. That ball moved ahead, racing, picked back up back there by Shannon. Now racing over as trying to get across the Niker. That's sent out the end line. That is going to be a corner for Ann Arbor. We are in the 90th minute. 1 minute before stoppage time. 3-0, Ann Arbor with the lead. Again, there has been a number of stoppages, so we assume there'll be a fair amount of stoppage time. Autograph session right after the game. Popped over, played down, that out the end line. That is going to be a goal kick. Slow to get up was Adamson, but he pops up. He looks like he's okay. Kluwer back. 20 seconds away from stoppage time. 9 minutes of stoppage time. That is a lot. That's all the way back. Ojo Tulaya looking to get it. That grab by Kluwer. 5 seconds and 9 minutes of stoppage time left here. As that's brought all the way back over onto the far wing, trying to get to it. Baroni moves it down now on the near wing, trying to get to his Nolan. Knocked away by Niker. Niker in the near corner. Niker gets it back up the near touchline. Niker launches it. Here comes Soga. Soga brings it up the pitch. Soga into the middle third. Soga trying to race ahead with it. Soga working, trying to get around Hakamaui. And down on the pitch goes Soga. That's a yellow card to Hakamaui. Soga slow to get up. So yes, number 29 picks up the yellow card. Hakamaui. Seven minutes of stoppage time, so not quite 9. Still a good bit of stoppage time, but 9, that would be a significant amount. Who knows? They might add another minute or so due to that stoppage. Over onto the far wing, Romero gets it back. Romero launches all the way back over, picking it up. Moeller lofts it all the way down the pitch, trying to get to it. Back over. Play down, now headed up by Martinez into the 18. Popped up high back there by Nolan. Trying to get it. Valencia working to get it. Now that pulled away. Chartier back over to Valencia. Valencia gets it to Soga. Soga over onto the near wing. Over to Niker. Niker up the near wing. Niker gets it over. Here comes Benford into the 18. Benford heads up the pitch. Benford chips it over. That headed out. Good job to head it by Ojo Chulayo. Back on the near touchline. Niker with it. Niker trying to head up. 3-0. Ann Arbor with it here in stoppage time. 7 minutes of stoppage time. On the near touchline. That fed all the way back. Sowerby with it in the middle third. Sowerby launches it all the way back. You know, Sowerby from played in Columbia College, senior this year from Manchester, England. Ball all the way back out the near touchline. Racing back, Sowerby trying to get to it. That'll be a throw in by Takawira. Grabbing it, trying to move over. Asamoah flashing in front, knocked away. Romero trying to get to it. Pulled, coming up. Here comes Chartier. Chartier racing down the far side of the pitch. Chartier over midfield. Chartier coming ahead into the middle third. Chartier trying to feed it over to Martinez. That knocked away. Chartier down the far side of the pitch. That battle for Chartier keeping it in. Now the cross picked up by Kluwer. As down on the pitch, an injury to a defender. Slow to get up. I believe that's Ojo Tulayo. Here again, we're in the 7 minutes of stoppage time. Ojo Tulayo makes his way up. We're glad to see he's all right. Walking under his own power, not limping too badly, coming up the near wing. Ball set back for Kluwer. 3-0. Ann Arbor with the lead. That ball high up in the air. Again, 7 minutes of stoppage time. We are in that stoppage time now. Headed back up by Pearson. Up the far wing. Grab. Knocked away. Dispossessed. Now Chartier trying to get to it. Back over. Hakamaui with it. Hakamaui trying to move it ahead. That grab by Money. Money puts it on the far touchline. Now trying to get away from it. Takawira has it knocked away. Coming ahead. Racing. Here comes Asamoah. Asamoah has that knocked away right at midfield. Quickly the other direction. Here comes into the attacking third. Hakamaui. Stolen away by Ann Arbor. Here in stoppage time. 3-0. Ann Arbor with it. As that moved over, that will be a yellow card. As that yellow card goes to Nolan. As number 23, Nolan picks up a yellow card. I don't think he was trying to be whatever, put his foot out to get the ball. Hooked our player's foot, and that turns into a yellow card there. Again, we are in stoppage time here. 3-0, Ann Arbor with the lead. 7 minutes of stoppage time. I didn't have, don't have my stopwatch on me. That stopped here. Here comes Sowerby. Sowerby heads up the pitch, moves it over on his own side of the middle third to Romero. Romero back to Moeller. Moeller rockets it ahead, down on that far side. Chartier plays it down. Chartier fires it back. He plays with the Michigan Tigers. Or no, excuse me, that was Chartier will get the free kick. Didn't get a chance to actually look up Chartier, forgive me, where he went or where he's going to college. Played down, moved ahead by Moeller, grabbed by Asamoah. Asamoah, as that is a whistle. Soga will get it over towards the middle of the pitch. That will be a kick by Ann Arbor. Quickly they move it over to Moeller. Moeller outside the 18, arcs it down the far side of the pitch. Chartier pops it up. Pearson over on the far wing. As I believe they'll say that went out the far touchline. No, that'll be a free kick that went off the official. They'll do it again. Again, we're in 7 minutes of stoppage time here, 3-0. Ann Arbor trying to pick up a big 3 points against top of the Great Lakes table. Asamoah brings it ahead. Asamoah race through it, as that's Valencia who puts it down the far touchline and out. Throw in by Benford over on that far touchline. Now that will be Chartier who throws it in. And to fire it back. Samoa gets it over to Soga. Soga racing ahead. Soga over to Niker. Over on the near wing. Niker dribbles into the 18. Niker dribbles up the pitch. Gets it over to Soga. Soga. Plenty of traffic in the way. Sowerby launches it as that will go all the way towards the visitors' locker room. That went for a ride. That will be a goal kick. And that's the whistles. That will do it. 3-0 AFC Ann Arbor with the win, as AFC Ann Arbor gets the 3-0 win, a clean sheet by Moeller. He played very well, and that will 3 more points for AFC Ann Arbor. The next game will be tomorrow at 3 o'clock. That is going to be the women's squad versus Michiana Lions. 3 o'clock tomorrow. Please come on down. We'd love to see you here. Should be a good game. And we're hoping to get a good weekend sweep here on the pitch. For my camera person, Christina Wiseman, our director, James Wiseman, again, we wish Mike Butler well. He just tested positive for Lyme disease. He's being treated. Hopefully they caught it early. Please be careful. Check those tick bites, as there's a lot of ticks this season. My name is Mark Wiseman. Thank you very much. Have a fantastic rest of the evening. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody.